Questions orales, oral questions. L'honorable chef de l'opposition.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives would have liked to work hard in Parliament today to do something about real estate inflation that has doubled costs over 9 years of this Liberal government, or food inflation, which is 36% higher than in the United States. But unfortunately, instead, Parliament is paralyzed due to this Prime Minister. He paralyzed this House by blocking the documents that we ordered to be sent to the RCMP about a $400 million scandal. What exactly is this Prime Minister hiding? The Honourable Government House Leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What the Leader of the Opposition said is completely false. Let me read what the RCMP said about this motion. They said there is a significant risk that this motion may be seen as a way of sidestepping normal inquiry processes and protecting the Charter. We are ready to send this to committee and return to the important business of this House. Thank you. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. Mr. Speaker, this is a $400 million scandal, 8 times more than the sponsorship scandal in financial terms. The AG has found that there were 186 conflicts of interest. The leader of the Green Slush Fund has already been found guilty of violating the law. When someone steals from you, do you call the cops, or do you simply send the matter to a committee? The Honourable Minister of Innovation. Mr. Speaker, it's very clear that Canadians have had enough of the little games played by the Conservative Party, and they're tired of these Conservative slogans. They've also had enough of the Conservative filibustering. On this side of the House, as we've said several times, we will always be here to protect people's rights and freedoms in Canada. We will always stand up for democracy, and we will fight for Canada. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Conservatives would have liked to be working today to counter the doubling of housing costs this Prime Minister has caused, or the record food price inflation, which has been 36% higher in Canada than in the US. But unfortunately, the Prime Minister has paralyzed Parliament by refusing your ruling directing his government to turn over evidence in the $400 million Green Slush Fund scandal that the Auditor General says involves 186 conflicts of interest, with the chair of the fund found guilty. What has he got to hide?
The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons.
Mr. Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition is not being truthful with Canadians. It is the RCMP Commissioner himself who said the RCMP's ability to receive and use information obtained through this production order and under the compulsory powers afforded by the Auditor General Act in the course of a criminal investigation could give rise to concerns under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. It is therefore highly unlikely that any information obtained by the RCMP under the motion where privacy interests exist could be used to support a criminal prosecution or further a criminal investigation. Mr. Speaker, let's get this.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
This is a $400 million scandal involving Liberal appointees giving millions of dollars to their own companies, and the minister's story is now changing. Last week, she claimed that the government had given documents to the RCMP. This week, they claim that if they gave documents to the RCMP, it would cause the Charter of Rights to come crashing down. It sounds like there's a new story every week to justify paralyzing Parliament to cover up the truth. What is in these documents about this $400 million scandal that the Prime Minister is so afraid of?
The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons.
This is a typical witch hunt from the leader of the opposition to go after people who have nothing to do with this. These are files such as personnel files that contain private information of individuals who have nothing to do with what is going on. Mr. Speaker, it is the RCMP and the Auditor General themselves who raised concerns with this motion, and it is the government's view that we should send this to committee so that we can get on with the important work of this House and protect the rights of Canadians.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
A witch hunt. The Ethics Commissioner appointed by this government has found the chair of the fund in violation of the law. The Auditor General, also appointed by this government, says there were 186 conflicts of interest involving Liberal appointees giving millions of dollars to their own companies. $400 million. Potential criminality, according to the main whistleblower in the scandal. Any other employer would voluntarily turn over all the evidence to the police if it had been ripped off by its own staff. What is the Prime Minister hiding?
The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons.
Mr. Speaker, if and when the police request that information, it will obviously be handed over because that is proper judicial process. But when it is Parliament that is doing it, this is where Canadians should be concerned, Mr. Speaker, because when he is going after the rights of other Canadians, it's only a matter of time before his political vendettas come after the rights of all Canadians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So everyone, so if you haven't noticed that the new scandal right now, that is the gist of it is that the Liberal Party has been accused of laundering money into their own company, basically showing that there were work orders within their companies, and then the government procured those work, and then the government paid for those work, and that money when goes into the Liberal MP's own company, and that's a huge conflict of interest. And that is what Pierre is talking about, the $400 million slush fund, in terms of where is this money going. Like, so the Conservatives have been consistently asking about to hand over the documents, and so that the RCMP can investigate. However, the Liberals are saying that's not how the law works here. And let me know what you think about this comment and what should be done in terms of what is going on currently with the scandal. So there's a lot of questions in terms of this scandal and in terms of how the documents were uncovered. Basically, the Conservative Party is asking for the Liberal Party to hand over the documents. However, the Liberals are arguing that within Canada, if the information is obtained illegally, that they're not obliged to hand over the document because of the Privacy Act. And let me know what your thoughts are in terms of this issue. Do you think the Liberals should if the Liberal Party should hand over these documents, or do you think it is within their right to hold this document on their own and let the RCMP deal with this rather than talking about it in Parliament? Right now, Parliament's, I mean, we're going on in circle talking about this scandal when we should be talking about things that are wrong with Canada: the rising cost of homes, the cost of living, the cost of food, and the quadrupling of the carbon tax. Now, let me know what your thoughts are in terms of this scandal, and should we just move forward out of it? I know there were a bunch of scandals over the years. We had the Nazi in the Parliament issue, and then we also had the Arrive scam scandal. So let me know if this is one of many, and what are your thoughts are. And as always, please do like and subscribe my channel for more. Thank you. Take care.